Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. The cantor and I were a little, a little bored just passing the time before, Shabbat services started tonight. So we started a little game of poker. We almost finished before services started. So Cantor, I'm going to call. What do you got?
I got a pretty good hand, Rabbi.
What do you got?
I got three kings.
Oh, crap. I only have two threes.
Oh, I beat you.
Yeah, I shouldn't have bluffed. Oh well. All right, Cantor, you get to figure out what I owe you.
All right, I will do that.
Maybe something after the pandemic or something like that. Free babysitting. I don't know.
Ooh, yes, you
Shoot.
got
All right. Shouldn't have said that.
it.
Anyway, we're talking about poker tonight because something pretty cool happened that I wanted to share with everybody. There's an observant Jewish man named Gerson Distenfeld who's 43 years old. He came in eighth place at the final table a week ago in the No Limit World Series of Poker Texas Hold'em tournament. Now, the format was unique this year due to COVID, but still there were over 700 competitors. And again, Gershon came in eighth place. Now, Distenfeld is a credit director at the asset management firm Alliance Bernstein. He's an observant Jew. He went to Yeshiva University. He graduated from YU. And what's really impressive is that he said before the final table, began, before he finally, came in eighth place, that he was going to donate all of his winnings from the tournament to tzedakah. Now that is unheard of. There are players who have donated like a percentage, a portion of their winnings to charity, but for a player to donate all of his winnings is really, really quite extraordinary and special. Turned out to be eighth place. He won about $125,000. Now, Distenfeld notes that his wife Aviva and he said that they have been blessed by God with material resources and have always viewed themselves as having a responsibility to use those resources God gave them to do good in the world, be they financial or with their skills or with their talents. So really, it's a great story. And he chose eight charities, eight different tzedakah organizations to donate the money. Some of them are Jewish, some of them are not specifically Jewish organizations. And this whole very nice feel-good story to end 2020 sort of made me think, well, what does Jewish law have to say about gambling? So there is a text in our tradition. This is from the Mishnah, so this goes way back thousands of years. So the concept of gambling is not new, with the kind of gambling that we have now. It's not new with poker, Texas Hold'em, Vegas, Atlantic City. Uh, we've been gambling for thousands of years, not just Jews, but all people. The rabbis were concerned about gambling to an extent, and so they wrote, the following people are invalid as court witnesses. In Hebrew, ve'elu hein psulin: dice players, hamesachek b'kubiyah, and pigeon flyers, umafriche yonim. So why in particular dice players and pigeon flyers? Rabbi Yehuda said, when are these particular players invalid to be courtroom witnesses? And Rabbi Yehuda stated that they are invalid when they have no other trade. But if they have another trade, then they are acceptable as witnesses. So in other words, someone who is a professional gambler, that is all they do, that person is considered to be not kosher to be a witness in court. They are considered to be untrustworthy. But someone who is just engaged in a little bit of gambling as a hobby, they're doing it for fun, and it's not their full-time occupation, that person would be considered to be kosher as a witness in a court case, because they're not playing dice for their livelihood. So clearly, Gershon Distenfeld does not fall into the category of being a professional gambler. Gambling is not his occupation. He just does it for fun. He does it for a hobby. He's been fascinated with the World Series of Poker for quite a few years now. And he's actually gone to Vegas to play, but he's never made it so far as to the final table until this year. And on top of that, he made it clear that he wasn't looking to profit from his World Series of Poker or WSOP experience. He gave away, or he is giving away, all of his earnings. So again, pro gamblers would be unacceptable, but to have some fun, to do, gaming as entertainment, such as Marlboro Jewish Center's annual Texas Hold'em tourney. We didn't do it this year because of COVID, but I had a great run a couple of years ago. That kind of gambling, just for fun, that's acceptable according to the rabbis of our tradition. Speaking of gambling that's acceptable, you might want to buy yourself a 50-50 raffle ticket in honor of MJC's 50th anniversary that we are celebrating with a big, huge celebration next Shabbat and next Sunday. We'll talk more about that in the announcements, but you can still buy a 50-50 raffle ticket. The pot, I think, is approaching $2,000. Pretty good stuff. Now, with all this said and done, and it's very nice, it's okay, a little bit of gambling is okay, but I would emphasize, and I mean this seriously, that we need to be careful because gambling addiction is a serious problem. Definitely in the Jewish community, and unfortunately, it's a serious problem amongst teenagers, including Jewish teens. Statistics show that those with compulsive gambling problems are more likely to harm family members through domestic and child abuse. And further, children raised in a home with parental gambling problems are at significantly higher risk of suffering from depression, behavior problems, and substance abuse. So yes, we can enjoy a little, some games, a little bit of gambling, that's okay, but please watch your friends and family members for warning signs of addiction. So again, observant Jew placed really high in the World Series of Poker, and that's pretty darn cool. Even better, he donated all of his winnings to tzedakah. What a great dugma, what a great example for all of us. Thanks, everybody. Shabbat shalom.